Alright guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Prince Sammy Social Work. It has been a great time that we are passing that information to you guys. Hope you are subscribing. Hope you are getting the message you are giving out there. So guys, in today's video, wow, I'm so excited. Today we'll be talking about youth development and careers for the youth in Nigeria and around the world. So I was thinking, who am I going to call to talk on this wonderful topic? And something to me that, Sammy, you have someone you're going to call, and that person is Honorable Destiny OSIFO, the SSA to the Edo State government. Sir, please, you can also introduce yourself to us.
It's nice. Thanks for having me here.
All right.
My names are Honorable Destiny OSIFO, Senior Special Assistant to Edo State Government.
Wow.
It's a pleasure having me here.
Yeah, I'm happy, sir. In today's video, we'll go to it. So I'm talking, let's talk about the youth in general. You are a youth, I'm a youth.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the youth in general.
Yeah. The topic you introduced, youth and career development in Nigeria.
Exactly.
In discourse, the subtopic therein, Nigeria peculiarity we are taking into consideration. So I think Nigeria youth upbringing is a critical role that can help youth development. And strategies for crime and juvenile delinquency control is a way forward. And I think youth gangs, the association a child keeps when he's coming up, plays a vital role in youth development too. And youth education again plays a vital role. The mix-up of association the child keeps in the school, plays an important role in youth upbringing and development. And I think the school, like I mentioned, the education, the school, the kind of teachers, the environment, the moral they are imparting to the child play a major role in the youth development. So this topic goes a long way to still deal with youth unemployment as a challenge that still affects the youth development amongst others. So I think having the proper upbringing of a child, the parents, the school, and the association the child keeps plays a major role in the youth development.
Ah, that's nice. So, sir, I know that you are a social worker also.
Yeah.
And you are one time this, one time that when you are in school.
Yes.
So, as a social worker, what will you have to say professionally towards this youth development?
It's my critical evaluation of Nigerian educational system. It's our education means that graduates do not rely on white-collar jobs, and only job provided by government is what our graduates are just dependent on.
Wow.
So I believe the type of education being proposed, to which we'll be able to inculcate in the Nigerian youth skills needed to be self-reliant. So if you propose such education whereby you are in school, skills will be imparted into you that will tell you it must not be a white-collar job.
Yeah.
You can still have a situation whereby you have skills that you can build up on as graduate, because the knowledge that you will put into your skills as a graduate is different from that of which somebody who is not a graduate will do. So again, the skills needed to be self-reliant is one, and the education that will instill into the mind of its graduates the ability to forecast business world and be able to discern what the needs of the society will be and work towards it. So that is another focal point that the Nigerian youth should look into. Then thirdly, I think if the child has been able to, develop skills as part of his education, and to build up on it, the government comes in, and the role of government is this our epileptic supply of power.
Exactly.
That is playing a negative role, to the skills of graduate youth who want to be self-dependent and self-reliant. The government has a very big role to play, because our incessant epileptic power supply is serving as discouragement to such youth with skills. So I believe on the part of the government needs to create a steady electricity power supply for its citizens, so that such youths who have a skills developed outside his educational development will have good electricity, to manage his business and all that. And it will also drive business in the country at large.
All right, sir. There are some certain questions due to the post of this video. People sent in questions so that you can able to do justice to them.
Okay.
And one of the questions is, how do the government of today intervene in enhancing the social function of the youth?
Yes, I will use Edo State government as a case study.
Okay.
The governor have touched so many areas that has to do with youth development. You see, our technical school has taken a different shape on what it was before the inception of this administration.
Okay.
So, you see, Edo jobs that the state government keeps advertising on a daily basis. The youth that has taken advantage of this process today are better youths to the society. They are all self-reliant in their various skills of endeavor. So I believe so far so good. Edo State governor has done well in enhancing the social functioning of youths in this regard.
All right, sir. So the next question is, what is the social welfare put in place? Because they know that you are a government official.
Yes.
So they ask the question, say, what is the social functioning? What are the social welfare put in place by the government of today towards the youth?
So many. I want to use skills acquisition as a case study.
Okay.
The governor of Edo State has partnered with several bodies, in ensuring the social welfare of the youth.
Okay.
So, like I mentioned earlier, the Edo jobs that the state government is, sponsoring, those youths who took advantage of this process have gotten grants from the state government, and they have been able to use it to, process their farm. Those who are into cassava farm, buy equipment. Those who are into fish pond business, and so on. So many of them. So the welfare of citizens, the governor has actually done his best in this regard. And I want to really commend the state governor too, because we are glad that the federal government has approved that electricity, each state should generate their electricity. So today, the Usiomo power plant that the governor, is the facilitator of, has imparted into almost all the government ministry, the Chinese company in Saple Road. What it means when you are a civil servant, you are in the office without lights, and you are going through stress. Yeah. Today, all the government parastatals in the state are using Usiomo power. So light still plays a role in your welfare.
Yes,
you understand? So I think in this regard, the governor is doing very well, and he has touched that aspect critically.
That's nice. And sir, there's another question which will come from what you said earlier about white collar job.
Yes.
So what do you have to say about those youths who are still waiting for white collar job?
It's just for them to enhance their social functioning. by taking advantage of the jobs available. You know, for the female, you have different skills acquisition that is being facilitated by the state government. For instance, one just ended: makeup, igele tie, and baking of cake. For the men, shoemaking. You know, those that are into music, they have experts that will develop them. You know, and so many skills for both male and female. So I believe the portal are still not closed. Edu Job website is still there for them to take advantage to see how they can go and learn skills. Haven't learned these skills, that will enhance their social functioning. It might not just, you cannot just depend solely on your degree and leave it in your wardrobe, hoping that someday you get a white collar job. But with your skills as a graduate, if you are even doing fish selling, for example, I know a graduate that is selling this local fish they call baza, but he package it in such a way that it will be inside the cellophane, branded in his company name, registered, and he does it online, import and export to several countries. You say just make your order and you get it. So I think by so doing, your social functioning will be enhanced.
Yeah, that's nice. And the other question is, what do you think about youth going into politics?
Yes, it's a brilliant move, because with the inception of this movement that the NSAS gave birth to, the obedience, I don't want to talk politically, the obedience movement that is currently on is an emancipation movement for the youths who feel they have been robbed for so long, and is the opportunity for them to change the narrative of governance. So I believe it's a step in the right direction. So for youth to take advantage of public offices, contesting into political positions, to see how they can, their voice will be heard. There will be a voice to the youth, their fellow youth out there, to change the narratives of this country. I think it's a welcome development for youth to come into government, so that they will be able to, you know, adhere to what our anthem used to be, that the youth, after when you finish your university, you get good job, but at the end of the day, after graduation, nothing. It's still the old set of cargoes that are still there. So, but by the grace of God, if we have our youth in lawmaking position, they should be able to make laws that will affect youth, and make a law that will stipulate an age gap that you attain before you can retire in politics. So that the youth will have opportunity to visit themselves in. So I think it's a step in the right direction.
So, sir, what is your hope for the youths of today?
Yes, I want to discourage those youths who they call themselves Yakba youths. Our professionals have all left this country because they lost faith in this country. But I think there is a big hope, because the country they are going to today are accepting them, opening their borders for them to come in, because they need field workers. But for your information, between now and the year 2030, the robots that the white men have, you know, produced and manufactured, the robots so far in their dream, the robots will be doing the job that Nigerians are doing there. The robot is designed to speak all languages and understand all the languages. So if, for instance, you and everybody leaves this country, the youth, all the youth of this country live abroad, and the robot is not doing the job, those hard jobs they are using Nigerian youths to do abroad, then the services of the youth will no longer be needed. So I think it will be a wasted years they went to spend there. But if they galvanize themselves among this move of the youth that are taking the pain to drive the political system to say, I want to aspire for position. And I believe with the way Nigerian politics has taken shape for the past 2 elections that we just ended now, we know that our votes truly will really count, because it is now the time for the youth.
Yeah.
So there's hope.
There's hope
for Nigerian youth.
There's hope for Nigerian youths. So there's also another question. You said something about the community and the society the youths have grown up from will determine determine the social development of that youth.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe on that theory, but I want to ask you a question. Do you think organization can either bring negativity or positivity in a youth's life?
Of course, yes. The moral, and every organization has an ethical guideline, and they have their own orientation, the way they do things and the way things are. So like I said, when I spoke about juvenile delinquency, so youth has a computer brain as an infant growing up. So the moral you impart into that child is what they will develop to replicate in their daily life dealings, if they grow. So the reason why it is very important, the association, the school, and the environment you find yourself while growing plays a major role, is because the teacher that will be imparting knowledge into that child should not just rest in knowledge, but also they should also impart good morals into that child. So if where you are expected to learn education at the same time learn good moral, you are not being taught bad morals. As a result of the background of effect of the child that you have as a classmate or thereabout, where they are coming from. Perhaps the parents have a family of 6, they are living in one room. So many things that these children are exposed to, that will serve as a negative impact on the life of that child. So if it comes to the school, those that have good morals, that the parents taught to say, to speak positive things, not negative. You see Ugoki or Pa, all those negative things, so that the child will listen to. And in the process of that, the role that the teacher plays is to impart good moral. If a such child use such kind of foul language, the teacher is supposed to beat the child, to rebuke the child of what he has said, to let him know that it's a bad language and it's wrong. So that's where the society and the school plays a role, so that's
it means that if the social environment is faulty, the youth system must be faulty.
Of course, yes.
Now, I want to ask you a question, sir. What is now the mechanism the government have put in place to checkmate social organizations, social voluntary organizations, brother associations? You can name off a lot. We have some brotherhoods, because according to the law, everybody have the right to associate to any group that is against the government or against the system of the state. So what are the mechanisms? Because I believe that if these organizations are not being checked properly, they will be imparting wrong morals. Like I'll give an example. I know a person who is a Boy Scout in UK. It's like a norm that when you are in a certain level of education, you must belong to a group, whether you belong to a Boy Scouts, a Girl Guide, Boys Brigade, Red Cross, or science inventing stuff. And I believe the system there are checkmating what they are doing, what they can impart. So now let us come back to our country. Are we checkmating these groups?
Yes. I will tell you, a lot has gone wrong. growing up in this state, I remember vividly using that Boy Scout as a case study.
Yeah.
Boy Scout was a very good paramilitary organization to identify with in order for you to have good moral upbringing, because their norms and their way of life is to mold a child to be of good conduct.
Yeah.
But as a matter of fact, bad association and so many social vices that now engulf the society. You no longer have such paramilitary organization in place. And even if they are still in place, nobody is now interested. So the only thing an average child wants to be interested in is to go and identify with a particular secret organization for killings.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is a backbone effect of this youth development,
yes,
that we are talking about, So I think critically, the moral upbringing of a child plays a vital role in the life of that child before government comes in. Because if a child is properly taken care of, well brought up, the child will know the difference between good and bad, and such child will be a very good example to the society. So, but because of bad associations, bad crops of group that the children now mix up with, that the parents are no longer interested in checkmating these excesses. Before now, parents is either the man is working or the woman is working. So one will always be there to checkmate what goes wrong in the school, what the child did in the school, do revision with the child. But now, because of the bad economic situation of this country, the father is doing his also and also, the mother is doing his also and also. At the end of the day, when the child returns back from school, he will still be kept with the teacher for a very long time. They will pay extra money for that until they will eventually come at night. So when they get home, it's just to prepare food and prepare for tomorrow's school again. Everybody's rushing to work. So you can no longer monitor the life of that child, what happens to that child in school and so on. So I think by the grace of God, with the solutions that I have enumerated, if be put in place, I believe the Nigerian youth will be a better youth to the world and the society they live in.
All right, sir. Before we go, what do you have to say? Do you think internet fraud is a good means to develop Nigerian youth?
It still has to do with the social upbringing of the child. Like I said, a child that have a good moral upbringing will not engage in internet fraud, because there is already a norm. Every ethnic group has a value system in this country. So if you have a norm that you know that it is a strict norm that you must adhere strictly to. Growing up in these states, I remember vividly that when you pass through the ring road, they will tell you don't stretch your hand. Don't stretch your hand. When you stretch your hand, it's as if you are stretching your hands to the palace. Anybody that stretches his or her hand, the hand will hang. So it was a fright that was built on us, because the value system exists in this country. So for a child that have such belief, even if he's 50, if you still tell him to stretch it, he will say no. Don't do that. It's forbidden here, because there is a value system. So the upbringing of a child and the school the child attend, the kind of teacher, the church the child attend, the kind of preacher that teaches the child plays a major role in the development of that child. So I believe if we have square peg generally in the round hole, Nigeria will be a good place, and every Nigerian youth will have a better impact to their society, based on the education they receive and the upbringing that was imparted into them.
All right, sir. There's this theory in school that we learned. It's called from A.B. Watson.
Okay.
He said that he was boasting in his book that give me a child of 5 or a child of 1 year or 0 age and tell me what you want that child to be, that I will give you exactly what you want that child to be. Because he said the child mind, the brain is like a white slate written with nothing, that upon everything you teach that child, start writing upon. So this time brings me a question to you, sir, that if our culture, remember, we are in this time that people say, I don't care about culture. Most times, even our parents don't even know the culture. They want to go and learn again and say, tell me the culture. So do you think culture can really be a tool to help develop the system of the youth?
That's true. Very correct. Culture is, as it's defined, is a way of life of the people. So if you are somebody that have a value system whereby your culture at the infant's age, it is being imparted into you, that this is how a girl child is supposed to dress, this is how a boy child is supposed to dress, and this is the role of a boy in a family, and this is a role of a girl child in family. This all put together plays a role in the impartation, and this is what you will develop to build up to, that when I grow, this is how we behave in my place. You understand?
Yeah.
So it is, culture truly plays a vital role in youth development. So I believe if the right culture truly is being put in place, for instance, you see a large number of children today don't know how to speak their language.
Exactly.
And this has equally affected our cultural belief, because they just feel if you speak fluent English, tells that you are educated and you are the best. So, but meanwhile, if you speak your language, it doesn't reduce you, but instead it tells where you comes from. It plays a vital role in your cultural background, discipline.
Yeah.
So I believe if the way the state government has equally tried now by introducing Edo language back to the curriculum of the school. So you now see that children who from infants they have not even know how to speak Bini, from their pre-KG to their KG, and they go to primary, they started learning Edo language. Such child that will know what's the lifestyle of an average Edo person is, will act in accordance when he or she grows up. So I believe in so doing, our culture will equally impart positively into the life of our youths.
Okay. So talking about the state governor, he did something recently that it was really nice. A lot of people appreciate him for that and tell him thank you. Early last year, he helped us to dissolve these commercial workers around the states. I think that is also a means to give them a room to reiterate back and acquire a skill. So I don't know if you have more light to throw on that.
I wanted to recap
my question.
Yes.
I said recently the state government he made a policy that they don't want to see sexual commercial workers again around the states.
Okay.
I feel it was a way to give them rooms to engage in a dojo and get a skill.
Yes.
So I don't know if you have a professional advice to those persons who still feel that what he did was wrong, so to give them opportunity to keep doing their hustle than going there to learn skill. Because a lot of people like, now it's my age, I'm going to learn tailor. This time I'm going to learn how to sew, do makeup,
So let me come into your question, if I understand it properly. I think make it early syndrome that has engulfed the nooks and crannies of this country has really affected youth development in this country. So making it early is the dream of an average youth. That's why the male folks dash into internet fraud, while the female becomes sex workers, you know. And if it has eaten deep into them, retrieving them back will be difficult. Knowing that some of them too are educated people. Some of these girls doing it, they are graduates. It's because they relied on white collar job and didn't come. They now got some friends who introduced them into this street thing. So I want to believe that their awareness about their rights is the reason why some of them don't want to, because the governor actually make a frantic effort to see how he can put a stop to it and give them job that will make them have a sense of living. But some of them refused because they feel that the job that the governor was introducing to them is something that can be giving them equivalent of what they get overnight. So that has really affected the whole essence. And again, you should know that they have rights. They have rights to, you know, be a sex worker. But the only thing that is bad is when that is wrong is the exploitation. I'm glad you know that as a social worker. So it still has to do with the upbringing of that child. And some of our parents are equally not helped issue, because you see, parents growing up in this state again, it used to be from 40 years, 35 years and above that we were seeing that we are in protest in this state. Some of them will be a single mother, they will just leave their state to other states to come and also to take care of their child. But today you see a minor, you know, and the reason for it is some of their friends will buy their mother big phone, buy big plasma television in their house that they will be watching, buy good TV. You see other women who have the same age group of such girl child, you say, go see your mate, comparison, see what she has done for the parents. So the parents has equally, some of our parents have equally not helped issue, you know. So that's why they say, show me your friend, I'll tell you who you are. So I believe with proper moral upbringing, a Nigerian child that was properly brought up, no matter what, will not engage in these vices. So I think that's my take on that.
All right. In conclusion, it has been an interesting time with you, sir.
Thank you very
but in
much.
conclusion, there's a question I want to ask to have your opinion. What do you think about youth, massive youth, who are supposed to develop the nation, but they are not living? They call it Japa. They are not Japanizing from the country. These are the same youths supposed to be in politics, supposed to be in government sector, able to make laws, but are the one now doing Japa.
I remember I mentioned this.
Yeah, I mentioned that
because of my discussion. So, but the thing is, the disadvantage of it was that yes, some of them will want to justify their claim that they were not being paid as expected, and so many reasons they attributed to them leaving. But the truth is, like I said, the white man country they are running to, those ones are accepting them because they need people to do the jobs for them. So the hard labor they are doing, the white man has already developed a robot that is still under test running. So I want to believe that at the time the robots finally understand all the languages as expected, the services of the Nigerian professionals who are there will no longer be needed. So you will not see this xenophobia attack affecting our citizens. So they will all rush back home. So I want to use this opportunity and medium to advise an average Nigerian youth to see how they can fit into our political system, you know, to bring out the best to change the narrative of the system. You can be in a platform whereby the ideology of that platform has been jettisoned by the corrupt people who are in that political platform. But you as an individual who knows what the country is suffering, what you have suffered as a youth, you know, you can find yourself in that platform and you'll be doing things in a separate way.
Make a change.
So to make a change. So it is not left for them to be watching you. Definitely in every association you must have a like mind. So when your like mind starts seeing the impact of your ideology, they will key into it. Before you know it, this is how this obedience movement started. So if every Nigerian youth who has a solution to the problem of this country key into such movement, I believe if they vie into any political office, when they get there, they'll be able to change the narrative in governance.
Interesting. So are you against Japa?
I will tell you it is not the right step, because your country is somewhere you can never run away from. You understand? It is, whatever is bad should be addressed. And with collective approach, someday everything will change for good. I'm very hopeful that between now and year 2030, the right set of Nigerian leaders will be there to make right decisions for this country, and Nigeria will be great again. I'm very hopeful.
Me too. Alright guys, it has been an interesting time with Honorable Destiny OSIFO, and I've learned a lot from him today. And one of the things I learned from him is that personally, I must have a plan. Secondly, I must go back and review my social structures, my social environment. If they are negatively or positively impacting me, that will also affect my youth development.
That's correct.
So I must also look at the friends I keep. If they are enhancing me negatively or positively, so I must do that. So I guess you also have learned something from me today, that you also sit down and review also to adjust, to bring positive change. But if there's comments, you have your contributions, you have overview, or you are even engaged our theories that we are just stated here, you can drop your comments, drop your question. I'm going to drop Honorable Destiny OSIFO social media handle. You can chat him directly and ask him questions. That, sir, look what you said, this idea, I think I don't buy it. What do you have to say about it? So we all will grow together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.